have your senses perk up right away, and you should pay attention to what your vehicle's, running like.
And you don't tighten it properly, or the gas tank cap seal inside is faulty.
The yellow light that just comes on and stays on. If you get a check engine light and it's that flashing yellow light, pull over immediately, turn your engine off.
If the alternator voltage output is too high or too low, it can cause the check engine light to go on.
Turn the car on a third time for 1 second. Turn the car off. Then start the engine.
Mechanics know this. Most people panic when the check engine light pops on, and panic sells repairs. Shops can turn a $0 fix into a $700 invoice, all because you didn't know the truth about what that light can mean. Before we move on, I will like you to subscribe to the channel and like the video. In this video, I'm exposing the real playbook behind that glowing warning, including the top signs it's something minor. Stick around. I'll show you the small, specific request you can make when that light comes on that instantly changes the balance of power in your favor. Most drivers picture the worst possible news the second that amber check engine light flashes on. Images of overheated engines, shredded belts, or total breakdowns flood in. But here's the part most people never consider. Roughly half of the time, the cause could be fixed with a simple part that costs less than $20. Your pulse quickens because your mind goes straight to disaster mode, and that's exactly where the money starts flowing at the shop. Think about it. You could be coasting down the highway, music on, cruising at a steady speed. The car feels fine. Then suddenly that symbol glows from the dashboard. No strange noises, no smoke, just that light staring at you. In that moment, you're not thinking about minor issues. You're already calculating how much a tow, repairs, and maybe a rental will cost. That shift in your mindset from calm to anxious happens in seconds, and repair shops count on it happening. When you pull into a shop still under that fear, you're sitting in the perfect position for a profitable diagnostic cycle. Often a mechanic hasn't even identified the problem yet before you've agreed to their inspection fee. You might even authorize further testing without realizing that the actual fix could have been quick and cheap. I've seen cases where drivers spent hundreds of dollars between multiple visits, all because of a loose gas cap. Their bill covered full system scans, labor charges, and extra precautionary services, none of which were about the $15 cap that triggered the alert in the first place. Service desk employees are trained to keep their words precise, but loaded with concern. The phrasing matters. They might say, "We don't know the cause yet, it could be serious," or "It's not safe to guess." Those lines aren't lies, but they're designed to plant enough doubt that you imagine the costliest outcome possible. And when your brain is picturing a breakdown, you're far more likely to nod along to every suggested step. Statistics back it up. Plenty of check engine lights are triggered by things like a worn oxygen sensor, a loose or damaged cap, or a small vapor leak in the emissions system, all of which are common and often inexpensive to fix. But here's the subtle tactic. They let you fill in the blanks yourself. A simple pause between "we need to inspect" and "here's the result" gives your brain time to turn a missing seal into a $3,000 repair in your imagination. Here's the shift you can make. Knowing that a large portion of these alerts don't point to anything dangerous weakens their advantage. It gives you room to stop, breathe, and make one crucial move before agreeing to anything. In fact, there's a single, specific question you can ask that instantly changes how the conversation will go. One that can cut out unnecessary upsells before they even start. And that's the key takeaway here. A check engine light is not an emergency verdict in most cases. It's a signal, and many signals lead to minor issues. Once you accept that, you remove the biggest psychological tool mechanics have. The panic that makes you open your wallet without hesitation. Up next, we're going to break down exactly what that light represents, how it's actually triggered, and why understanding that system gives you the strongest negotiating position you'll ever have at an auto shop. The check engine light doesn't actually tell you what's wrong with your car. It tells you where to start looking, and that small difference could mean you keep hundreds or even thousands of dollars in your pocket. That light is connected to your car's OBD2 system, short for onboard diagnostics, version 2. Every car sold in the US since 1996 has it. When a sensor detects something outside of normal range, whether it's in the engine, emission system, or even certain transmission functions, it stores a trouble code. The light is just the system's way of flagging that a code exists. Here's the catch. When your mechanic plugs in a scanner, it reads the stored code or codes. These codes are precise, but what you hear from the service desk isn't always the full picture. Some shops give a vague summary instead of telling you the exact exact code and its definition. Why? If they say, possible loose fuel cap, you might ask if you can just buy one and see if it helps. If they say, evaporative emission system malfunction, you're probably more likely to let them run more tests and bill you for them. The scanner doesn't diagnose a bad part. It identifies which system or sensor noticed an unusual reading. That's not the same as confirming damage. A single code could be due to a part actually failing, or it could be a one-time hiccup caused by things like humidity or a brief stall in fuel pressure. Sometimes a code disappears on its own after a few ignition cycles. There are plenty of common triggers that sound serious, but often aren't. One of the most frequent is a loose gas cap. If you forget to twist the cap tightly after fueling, or if its rubber seal is cracked, the system thinks there's a vapor leak. A brand new cap might cost $15, but a shop's evap system diagnostics could run you $100 or more before even replacing it. Another is a misfire caused by damp ignition coils. Maybe it rained heavily, moisture got in, and one coil momentarily misfired. If it's just moisture, it can dry out on its own, though ignoring a real coil issue can lead to bigger problems. A coil replacement is usually $50 to $100 per part online, but at a shop, it's often $300 with labor. A faulty seal on an oxygen sensor can also trip the light. You don't always need a new sensor. The seal alone is cheap, but replacing the whole sensor at the shop can easily cost $200 to $400. Then there's the temporary emissions hiccup. A brief condition like uneven fuel quality can cause a reading outside normal limits, throwing a code even though nothing is wrong now. Clearing the code and driving a few days can confirm if it returns. The last frequent cause is a dirty mass airflow sensor. Located near your air filter, it measures air coming into the engine. Cleaning it with a $10 spray takes minutes. Replacing it unnecessarily could cost over $250. Here's where you protect yourself. Always ask for the exact code number and its description. Don't settle for, it's your emission system, or it's misfiring. With that code in hand, you can look it up in your owner's manual or a trusted online database before approving anything. This simple step drastically lowers the chances of approving expensive, unnecessary repairs based on vague explanations. And there's an even faster move that cuts an upsell attempt short before it starts. Combine what you now know about these codes with a specific approach I'll walk you through next, so you keep the advantage no matter where you take your car. The check engine light isn't a final judgment, it's a prompt to investigate. The smartest move you can make is to ask for the exact OBD2 code before anything else happens. That code is standardized, and with it you can check your vehicle's manual or a trusted online source to understand the possible issue. Don't agree to repairs on the spot. Pause, get a second opinion if the work sounds major, and use that information to decide. This one habit can stop unnecessary repairs before they start, save you hundreds or even thousands, and give you confidence when that light comes on.